Hey,
Oh,
welcome
new
in, everyone.
office.
Welcome to another edition of Titan Talk. New room, same show. I'm Isaiah, community lead, Kilgoon with me, and we've got Pon with us as well because we're going to be talking about Open Beta 9 and lots of cool stuff in that update, right?
Yeah, no, there's, I was putting together the list of everything in this update, and I was like, oh, God, there's a lot more than I thought there was. We're going to be here forever today. But yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in this patch. I thought it was going to be a little bit lighter, but we ended up getting quite a lot of good stuff into it. So I'm excited to go through it. Quick preamble about the room. This is our first day in the new room. There may be some technical issues. We have not really decorated it yet. There will probably be things behind us. We are in our new office across the street, which is a bigger space. I think it's better for everybody. You are not bumping elbows while you're working at your desk anymore, so it's great.
There we go.
And we decided to set up the table this way with the windows behind, so that you could kind of see people walking back and forth.
Yeah,
you know?
you make it a special guest appearance from someone. You know?
So we still have work to do. Like the lighting's probably not final. We don't have any actual decorations.
Yeah.
You know, the camera angles maybe need a little bit of work, but just getting the new room up and casting, I think, was our first priority. So we're just excited that we got to have the show today.
I know, right? I want to give a big shout out to Hindu and Jameson that helped out over the weekend, get the room set up for us to be able to continue Titan Talk without any interruptions. So like I said earlier, we've got a pretty big show today with a lot of stuff in Open Beta 9. So shall we just get right into it, gentlemen?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's get right into it.
So we're going to kick things off with Guan Yu, the next ported god, joining the roster. Let me bring up the hand.
Guan Yu.
And it's not a laptop anymore.
Oh, it's a PC.
It's a PC,
I have a
so it
full
should run the
PC
game better.
With a mouse and keyboard. I'm not typing on mashed potatoes anymore. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. So I will.
What does typing on mashed potatoes mean?
And chat should be able to see it.
If you quit out and come back.
He looks so cool, man.
Don't do that.
Is under attack.
Close the here.
I don't know.
You're not an app order.
Live troubleshooting.
Bro, he looks huge.
But yeah, we got Guan Yu, so I can just start talking about him.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, so Guan Yu.
Oh no, Pon's mic is fucked.
Warrior brings him healing, brings him sustained damage, force ults. A lot of his kit is fundamentally the same.
You know what they did? I know a little bit.
And we've given him very unique scaling opportunities that we haven't really done yet before, so we're excited to see what build opportunities we'll have for him.
They can't hear Pon very well.
Oh, they cannot hear me.
Okay.
Mic's off.
So
Here,
like
let me.
live
troubleshooting.
I gotta help
through.
Oh, Hindu's already got it.
Gonna turn up Pon really quick.
Your
Yeah.
middle
Probably
tower
wait
is under attack.
to go for the full spiel until.
There we go. All right, try now,
Testing,
Pon.
1, 2, 3, talking. 1, 2, 3.
Nope.
Testing.
He's using his mic, so.
I could.
Let's
just
see
scream.
here. You got a special.
A wild Hindu man appears.
A wild Hindu man. All right. He's like, don't tell.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Can people hear me? Do things look good?
I think.
Yes, 1, 2,
I think
3.
that's better. Yeah.
Ooh.
Not on. Still not on.
Still not on. 1 second.
But we now got Travis in here.
Yeah, I know, right? It's just everyone hanging out for Titan Talk as we get things.
Hello.
There we go.
I mean, if
Your
we want
middle tower is
to
under
do it this
attack.
way, that works for now. But cool. Yeah, let's get into Guan Yu.
Cool.
So, Warrior brings a lot of really cool stuff to the game. Giant horse, team final, really
'Kay.
great. But we focus on really making some of his abilities a bit more fluid, giving him some just ease of access to the tools in his kit, as well as we have given him some very unique scaling opportunities that no other character really has right now.
Yep.
So we're just gonna go into each piece one by one.
Cool. So passive first.
Yep, so passive first.
Hey,
So his
rework passive a
works
little
very
bit.
Similarly in function, you build up 20 stacks. When you're at max stacks, you're empowered. You have to stay in combat to keep these stacks going, and once they fall off, you have to rebuild 20 again. But what it provides you is very different. Previously, it provided you bonus effects on all your abilities. All these bonus effects are now baked into the core kit. You don't actually need this anymore.
Nice.
Because that loop was something that, over time, we ended up removing more and more pieces of it because it was just really difficult to actually manage that. It really often meant that
This
you
mic
just
still
didn't have
sounds a
the
little
tools
weird,
on
right?
you wanted. We felt like it was much better to give you those tools and make this passive something a bit more different. So in this case, it's now Battle Fervor. You gain attack speed instead. So you get per stacking attack speed, and you also get at maximum stacks even more attack speed. Now you might be like, why does Guan Yu attack speed?
Yeah.
He's not really an attack speed character. Well, now he is, because this is my own little.
Picking up on both
personal
mics,
record.
okay.
Attack speed to show this off first.
Yeah.
I always thought his ults, when you're swinging his ults, the attack speed should really contribute to that. So, because you're swinging your weapon, right? So now if you build a whole bunch of attack speed, just Odibo is probably the biggest single one you can get.
Cool.
And if you ult and start swinging.
Oh, yeah.
Ha 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 ha!
So that's scaling number 1. You get to swing faster if you build
That's
attack speed.
funny.
So just by being in this kind of enraged state, you're
That
gonna
is
get a whole bunch
funny.
of attack speed, which means that you'll get to feel this regardless.
Right, yeah.
But if you actually build into this attack speed style,
I wonder if you actually work into like a
and
berserker's.
That's not the only thing that scales with attack speed. His 3, where you rapidly attack.
He's actually like a
also
heavy
scales. So
attack
you
speed
know that you
character
need
now.
a specific attack speed. You can
Bro.
Oh my gosh.
You can hear the audio is a bit higher. We got some cool audio.
Look at
effects.
that.
The rapid
It's a
kicks
machine
feel like
gun.
They're a bit spicier. But yeah, you have another scaling factor for the 3. So if you want to go attack speed, if you want to support your team with the Shogun's Kasari, if you want to do things like pop your Dagger Frenzy and not even use it for the auto attack, just use it for the attack speed boost, you get some really cool benefits
Wait,
there. There's
does that
also
even
some
use
changes
like
that
if you
happen with
pop
them.
Dagger
We just
Frenzy?
thought that
It doesn't-
because letting the ult scale
Surely
attack
that
speed,
doesn't work,
it
right?
played well with this new passive idea that also played well with the 3.
Surely
It's
that
a
doesn't
scaling
work,
factor.
right?
He's also a hybrid scaling character in the sense of he has intelligent scaling as well.
Right.
So if we go on to the first ability, his heal,
They really had to make this character
this
broken
now
like
actually
Smite
has
1, exactly.
intelligent scaling and cooldown
Perfect.
reduction,
I
like it
love
normally
that.
does, but the cooldown reduction also scales with intelligence. So if you want
That's
to play that
so
more
cool.
utility style, sustain oriented,
That's so cool. 10 out of 10 right there.
you probably want to go the intelligence route because that's not only going to make the cooldown reduction scale more on conviction, the heal scale more on conviction, but if you go to the 2 and the 3, the 2 slow scales with intelligence. And
The
as
prot
well
shred
as
scales
the
with
own reduction
intelligence?
Scaling, so when you hit gods, you reduce your own cooldowns. That gets even more intense with intelligence. And your 3, if you go to the 3, has some intelligence scaling built into it, but it also has the stolen scaling. That's protections you take. We're getting Mike's hot swap.
Yeah,
all the
no,
time.
sorry about the bumps chat. We're getting Mike set up.
Testing. Hello?
There we go.
Is that working better, chat?
Is that work? Can you guys hear me okay?
Waiting for chat to.
Yes, no, maybe.
Yes, better.
Yeah, much
Ooh,
better. Okay, hey, we got it
Cool.
figured out.
Yay.
Okay,
There we go.
Sorry, first
Okay.
first show in the new room. We'll get it sorted.
I have to talk a little bit weird, but we can keep going. The protection also
His
scaling,
mic still does not sound very
you scale
good,
more
but-
with your intelligence. So intelligence is much of the support utility route, and then you can always go your standard high strength cooldown reduction bruiser type of Guan Yu.
I wanna see
and
the
you
ult
have a very
scaling,
similar
too.
Experience to Smite 1 with that route, but he's a character.
It sounds
that
the exact
wants to
same,
flex
really.
A whole bunch of different roles, and this just lets him really choose to actually go into any one of these in a really unique way for
Yeah.
him.
Your middle
We also have
tower
some nice
is
quality of
under
life
attack.
improvements. So the biggest one is his conviction, his heal. This is now castable during every single ability.
Yeah, this
Ooh,
is a
nice.
cool little plus one.
Yeah, so yeah, you can cast it here. If you're on your horse, you can cast it. You
Wait.
can also do it while you're dashing, even though it's a very short dash. And the cooldown reduction benefit that happens, so if you heal an ally with it, I did make sure that it also does contribute to the ability to use. So if you're 3ing, which doesn't go on cooldown immediately, if you heal someone, that 3 will inherit the cooldown reduction when it does decide to go on cooldown.
Nice. That's awesome.
So just really making things overall more fluid
Bro.
for him in when he wants to heal. And when
This
he
character's
doesn't
gonna be
have to cancel his battle
broken.
himself to get an emergency heal out anymore. He has all these different build variety paths, and I'm just excited for you guys
Your
to actually
middle
get your hands
tower
on him
is
and
under
play him.
attack.
Yeah, this is super sick. So he's
wait
got
to get
strength
my
scaling,
hands on
intelligence scaling. You can do some cool stuff with
Attack
attack
speed.
speed as well. So lots of different.
Dude, you have,
build
like,
paths for
3
Guan Yu.
different
I
build paths with him.
anticipate his God Builder page is going to go crazy whenever
Yes.
he releases, with everyone experimenting and adding in all the different types of ways to play with Guan Yu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a few final pieces coming in art-wise. I know today DJ sent me a picture of the horse. In Smite 1, it just kind of blips into existence immediately and blips out of existence immediately. Now it has a nice fade-in transition that happens, so you don't have it just immediately popping in and out of existence. I don't think that's in this one, but it will be in once we have another build go out. But yeah, just
Yeah.
a really cool character.
And we also had some feedback today that like the targeter on the ultimate
What's up,
can be
Drac?
hard to read, but
Yeah.
it looks like it has 2 circles right now, and it really only has just 1 circle, you know, because that's just the timer element. So we're going to be making some changes there. So, you know, this is not final Guan Yu,
Regardless
but,
of Smite,
it
he
at
needs
least
to
gives
be
you
OP.
a good look at where he is.
Yeah.
So-
He's cool though. I like him.
I'm going to bring us back.
I did not
Pam,
think I was gonna be excited for this
really
character.
quick.
Yeah, he
We've
does have
got
a
the
cool
new
mic.
mic. Yeah, Pon is on this mic. We'll get everything polished up for the next show. Again, kind of live troubleshooting. But Guan Yu launching with an aspect. We kind of teased that a couple weeks ago, right?
Wait,
Yeah,
what?
Yeah, we talked about him being a character we want to make sure they had an aspect for on release. We were still kind of
Pon's mic
debating
should just be
internally
closer,
if we
I think, and that would help a ton.
He's a character that can play support
What are they gonna
He's
make
not
his
like
aspect?
super
Assassin,
popular
maybe?
there, and maybe there's a route where we could actually make him a bit more selfish with his aspect. We decided to go with the more support-oriented style because we think that's a natural place where players will want to explore Guan Yu. So you can play him a little bit support already by just
Okay,
playing
support
intelligence
Guan Yu
into the
aspect.
dual lane. But we want to get.
Does he
something
give
that's a bit
teammates
more
attack speed,
explicit
maybe?
And really turning him into a true support. So that's why he has aspect of the general.
Yeah, I will bring
Ooh,
up the
of the general.
Let's talk about it really quick. So aspect
Intelligence
of
instead
the
of attack
general,
speed.
Battle Fervor, which is the passive, now provides
Will share protections from
intelligence
Talu Salt.
instead of attack speed.
Guan Yu
I'm
loses
gonna note
all
the
strength
bee
scaling.
that's floating there right now. That will not be there long term. That's something that is a tech art issue in this
funny.
current build. That
He's a
will
little
be
cute
gone tomorrow.
guy.
So ignore the bee.
Just
The bee
a
is
fun little
permanently
bee.
there.
He's a
So,
little cute guy.
But Battle Fervor now provides intelligence instead of attack speed. Conviction now applies an additional heal over time and will share protections from Talu Assault. However, Guan
That's
Yu loses
kind of
all strength
cool.
scaling.
Yep, all strength scaling.
Is that
So,
not better? No,
outside of
he has a
base
ton of
attacks,
strength
base
scaling
attacks
in this
still,
kit.
If you build strength, his base attacks will hurt. But
Yeah.
his abilities will lose all their strength scaling. So this really moves him to heavy intelligence using and really playing off all the things that intelligence scaling brings him, as well as taking that battle fervor and turning
So a
it
better
into
Fenrir
a
aspect?
stim for
That's
all the
true. Now,
support.
okay, that's true.
The extra heal.
That is
conviction
actually true.
Really potent, as well as if you actually use your 3 first and then you use that new aspect. Which
Yeah,
is
his one was a really low cooldown.
Right.
You can share that protections out to your teammates, which is just a really nice +1 feature. It means that if they're all grouped around you and you're being aggressive, you can just really. It's one of the few places where we let you do team-wide protections.
Yeah.
Which is just,
Yeah, you compare this to Herc and
for
Fenrir
sure, yeah.
aspect, and you're like, wow.
The charge for his team.
Sonic Keyblade has a great comment. Aspect of the general. Does he save you money on your car insurance?
Oh, that's hilarious.
This might even be good in
So,
solo
We
lane.
love all the build variety that.
Because
Guan Yu
solo
has been
currently
with.
isn't really a
That only
great
pushes him even one step
damagey
further
tank
into-
role. It's a
If
really
he
good
does, if he plays standard
like
and
support
intelligence,
2
he's
role.
gonna be
So I
more
can maybe
the,
see this being
kind of bully dual laner where he's
play him in
really
solo
expecting to kind of
and just
transition
play with the
into
aspect of the
a
general.
for your team.
Right.
That's a
But
cool
this,
name
he
though,
can
aspect of the
really that
general.
true healer support and provide a
Go
lot
to
of
the general and save some
Yeah,
time.
and like we said, he is not done. You know, we're still wrapping up a few things for him. So you see, like, you know, his knees clipping through his skirt
Yeah,
a little
just
bit there. You know,
Yeah.
we're some of the tech art stuff is some of the last stuff that's getting done here. So don't think that this is the final. We're just
Yeah, we're still cooking.
talking about everything that will be coming out a week from today. So.
Sweet. Well, we showed Guan Yu's base kit. We talked about the aspect.
If his
Shall
3
we
still
look
knocks
at his
back
ascension
minions,
path
he'll be
quick?
really good
Yeah,
in
let's do it.
support.
I actually have not had a chance to look at any of this.
Nice. So we got Shadow Guan Yu
Ooh.
up first.
Almost like Demon.
I
King.
actually
know,
look
right?
forward to these because I really like
some
seeing
noted on
this,
the
and then I like
black
seeing their god border.
His first tracker is cooldowns reduced. The total cooldown time reduced on Guan Yu and his abilities. So that's super cool because he's got a couple of different ways to do this, right?
Yeah, and as you build more intelligence, you can actually make this effect a lot stronger for your team. So it's just kind of cool to be able to track that directly.
Yeah, I love the trackers that kind of play into the mini games for all the god kits. We've got the mastery emote.
What if you go like pendulum on this character, and then you just spam your one?
Objectives destroyed and goddess.
Yeah, borders usually last.
The second unique tracker is time and battle fervor. Total time that Guan Yu has been at max of his battle fervor, which is the passive again.
Yeah, so this is once you
Bob,
get
you're
to 20
cooking?
stacks, you
Bro,
basically
imagine you're
are
getting
playing
like
the
poked
mini
over the
game,
wall by
and
like
keep
Thoth,
fighting,
Yeah.
and the Guan Yu's just healing the Thoth, and he just keeps
So this just
pounding.
rewards you the longer you can actually keep into that battle fervor state, the longer your fights go, the more this tracker goes up.
Yep, this is sick. Next up, we got Onyx Guan Yu, the
Classic.
classic,
Very
black
clean.
and gold. This little bee hanging out is cracking me
It's
up,
kind
by
of
the
funny.
way.
I do love the depth on this material, like in his like skirt. Like, I mean, it looks almost like a field of stars
yeah.
or something. You know,
Yeah,
it's just
That skin actually looks awesome.
It is funny, the bee kind of matches the edge.
I know, right?
bee.
Next up, we've got Opal Guan Yu, and I love the Opal skins.
Dude, opals
I
are
love the
so
textures.
cool.
Like you said, the textures in his cloth have so much depth
Yeah.
in these mastery skins. It's awesome.
Dude, Smite 1 skins
That's
are
just obsessed
awesome,
with the bee.
and then you
Okay,
compare it to
we're gonna
like
get through it.
Smite 2 skins.
Next up, we've got his global emote, which is the beard flip.
Nice.
Really cool global emote. We've
Why
got
get a
his
general
wave. Oh, you went
ad?
into Little B. Nice. We've
I
got
agree,
Saints
Swiss.
of War, which is his title.
Ooh,
We've
that's an
got
okay
God
title. It's an
Kills,
okay
of
title.
course, the mastery
I'm
badge,
not loving
and
it.
then Radiant Guan Yu, last on the track.
Ooh.
Oh, this one looks
I
really
usually
sick.
don't love
That's really
the
cool.
Radiance.
That's really sick.
This
I
one's
like that a
clean.
lot.
Yeah, I might even just want this one for the Saint.
That
War
is
title.
great,
Like,
yeah.
That's just a sick title too. Like,
Oh, and I love the gold. And I'm not sure if his card effects are done, but we can take a peek. Looks like they are partly done.
Partly
so.
done, yeah.
Wait, that's
Oh,
only
maybe they're
partly
just done.
done?
Yeah, there we go. We got some
Bro, that's
waves and stuff
clean.
going around.
Bro, it might be a
pretty
Guan
cool.
main.
Looking good for Guan Yu and his Ascension pass.
Somebody wants to see the global emote one more time, if we can show that?
Bro, that is
I
clean.
like that little intro bit.
Yeah.
That intro bit's really fancy.
That's cool.
That's great. Sweet. Let me bring us back to cams because I'm in dev and I don't want to spoil anything. But
Spoil.
we had something spicy up next.
Yeah.
Pon.
Aspect, Kali.
There's a lot of cooking involved.
Yeah.
Yes, this one, this is the aspect that we had to. This is probably pushing the maximum amount of things we will ever change on an aspect. We are doing this because we thought we had a really cool opportunity to. We thought the kit kind of lined up with it, and we could make the tweaks we wanted to make this work. But it is definitely one of the aspects that pushes what the aspect system is supposed to do pretty far.
Yeah.
And
It
that's
is
Collins.
for Kali, and I'm going to bring up the laptop. And chat, it is long. You will notice we've got some text clipping here that will get polished up before the full release.
I've tried to shorten this multiple
Yeah.
times. It will eventually just have to not have all the information.
Yes.
But,
Stuns or consumes
All right,
rupture.
So Kali, aspect of unbound destruction.
It knocks
Kali's
enemies
basic
away.
attacks are ranged.
Ranged.
Rupture consumes at 5.
Now gives
stacks to
stats,
deal
lower
damage
cooldown,
and heal
resets
Kali.
cooldown on mark kills, and
Incense
makes.
no longer stuns.
Oh
or
my
consumes
goodness.
Rupture. It knocks enemies away and applies rupture instead. Destruction no longer damages, prevents death, or gives immunities. It now gives stats, lower cooldown, resets cooldown on mark kills. And
Bro,
makes
this character's
Kali's
getting like an
basic
entire
attacks
rework
pierce
on her
enemies and apply
aspect.
2
Yeah,
rupture
it's gonna be a
Yes.
brand new character.
which is a lot.
yes, a lot of changes here. But the goal is, she is now.
That is a
ranged.
crazy aspect.
That was the goal. We wanted to. We've done this a little bit with Kernos, who was originally a character that had this kind of more melee side to him.
Yeah,
we
I think
wanted
this
to
is
make
sick
that
for
melee
aspects.
aspect a bit
I like
more.
Guan's aspect too, though.
Kali, we've really been looking for an opportunity to take a character that's melee and turn them ranged.
Yeah.
And Kali worked really well because she has identifiable weapons. Her animations when she goes to swing feels like they could be her throwing them, and she already has projectiles baked in. We've done some tweaks to them to make sure they're distinct from her too. As well as she had the pieces of abilities that could make for an interesting.
I'm so
if you
curious what
could
they
just
do.
tweak the rules a little bit.
Right.
So that's why Rupture now works differently than it does on base Kali. So instead of Rupture being something you build up to 5 and then consume with incense, it is now you build up to 5. And
Kali ADC? Yeah, maybe Kali mid.
5 and
I want to see what her
and
kit
this
looks
gives
like to
bonus
really
damage
tell.
Kali, which plays really well with her unique auto attack chain, which is another reason we want to make her range. Which
I
is
think simple aspects are fine, but I think this is exciting too. They should just, if they have an idea, they should just go for it.
Applying this base damage because it's a base amount of damage. It doesn't scale with any stat, so you really want to go high attack speed on her. We've tweaked incense completely because
Yeah, no, this is a new god, for sure.
Stun if anyone gets close to you.
Her 1 is a jump, that's
as
it.
well as a death
Yeah.
immunity, which
Maybe
is
your
a
2's the
lot.
same too,
For
but her
sure.
3, her ult, her passive are all different.
For her as a hunter, and turned her ultimate into a very low cooldown. It's 50, scaling to 30 seconds. Ultimate.
I love that. I want more low cooldown ultimates.
Yes.
Not every ultimate has to be 90 seconds, man.
And we can show it off.
So-
And a little bit of a spoiler, we've got some god builders showing up in the auto build tab, which is cool.
Oh, yeah,
We'll talk a little bit more
that's
about that later.
very hype.
That looks cool, too. That looks cool.
I'll set 20. I will turn the aspect on. Let's reduce cooldowns as well, and we'll spawn a couple of bots in here as well, just to show everything off.
Okay, let's see this.
And again, this is very much we generally like fun aspects where we can tweak 1 to 2 abilities.
Oh, that's cool.
It's a different way to play the character. This is definitely pushing the amount of tweaks we would want to normally do in an aspect, but to make this style of play change work, we felt like we had to. So you can see here as you go to 5, the 5th one bursts and does some damage. It would heal you if you were damaged. Your 3 now knocks away to apply stacks. Your 1 still applies 3 stacks. Your 2 still applies stacks. So you can use those as really quick ways to build up stacks for the target. And then
Bro.
you now are stimmed. Your attacks pass through and apply 2 stacks each. And you get a kill on your marked target. The cooldown will immediately reset.
Bro.
If you're
What?
using it, when it ends, it'll be immediately available for you to use again.
That's so crazy.
She very much is the hyper late game terror in a very different way from.
Bro, that is
Assassin
sick.
version.
Yeah.
Assassin version you can
a
dive in,
lot
be
of attacks
immune to
easier.
death, really shred your team up. In this case, she is vulnerable. She can actually die. The ult no longer protects her from death. But if she's allowed to just hold left click at you, she is terrifying.
Yeah, and
Bro, that is so cool.
The big thing to keep in mind is that she does not have death immunity anymore,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
So that's a huge trade-off because that's a big part of what makes Kali, right?
Yes. So you can see here with the high attack speed build, you're going.
Oh yeah, this is sick.
And can you show the incense again, just how
yeah.
it knocks people away? And that effects we're having some issues with today. We're looking into.
Yeah, it looks like I'll have to go look and see what that effect is that's sticking around.
Bro, she is sick.
It might be.
I will not fall.
I wonder if it's the old. I'll have to go look. But there's definitely some effects sticking around that.
Bro.
But we'll fix that before obviously she goes live.
How regular is she supposed to compete with this?
Probably one of the craziest aspects we've ever cooked
Yeah,
up.
this
I'm
is.
super excited to see what people do with this.
Yeah, we've had a few playtests with it. It was very strong in the first one, but also was working slightly different. So I made some adjustments. I made some tweaks.
Well, she's definitely
so
she
we'll see how it
definitely
feels, but
is a
she
completely
gonna
different
be very
character.
squishy. If you catch her out with a stun, she no longer has a way to prevent death, so she can be very easily burst down. But yeah, she can hold left click. She's gonna be a terror.
Oh, for sure. So Kali's aspect coming in OB9 as well. So we talked about Guan Yu.
Artemis
Link
on her
Kit.
and Bari.
Guan Yu
Even
has
after
an
Bari's
aspect in the
nerf,
update,
I don't
and
know.
Kali
Maybe it's
also
just
has an
on her.
aspect in this update as well. But
On
that's
her,
not all.
Artemis,
Dude, I know
Kali.
you have a long list.
I have
There's
a lot.
more?
What do you
That
want to
we
go to
wanna
next?
talk about. Let's talk about. Should we talk about the Traveler?
Yes. Okay. So
Traveler.
Everybody has really liked this wandering market system that we've introduced as kind of like the new battle pass replacement, and we still plan to release a new wandering market.
100% I agree,
exactly
Ace.
like your existing wandering market.
Draft flexing is
every 8
crazy.
weeks. But some people have like built up a lot of coins and are like, it'd be cool to have something else to spend those on, right? So we thought it would be interesting to maybe add some other like short-term markets to the general wandering market area for people that just have a lot of coins and kind of want to deal on some good content. So for this one, basically we're calling these like traveler markets because they're not going to be around forever in the way that normal wandering markets are.
Right.
They'll be around for about, I believe, 6 or 8 weeks. I forget
think
exactly what
6
the
weeks,
timeline is. And you'll have that long to complete it. So it's a little bit different than the normal market.
Right.
They'll also be a little bit more expensive.
Yeah,
and
this is
they're gonna
coming
have
next week, Pack.
A little bit less content, right? But it's still a deal versus buying the content normally.
Right.
And it's just another opportunity to get stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can pull it up and take a look at it.
Yeah. I will pull it up now.
Yeah. So this is going to be the first one. We thought we'd do a little springtime thing with some bees. This is why
Yamoja!
bees are flying around
He's
today.
just hanging out everywhere.
That's a sick emoji skin.
This is going to be like centered on a new Yamoja skin. That's
that
being
Jingwei
bee
too?
themed, which I think is just a very cool looking skin. And just a neat skin. There's also a title in there called Bee's
Yeah, the
Knees,
Bee's
which is
Knees,
one
yeah.
of the best titles. Everybody is using it. Can you click on the other two kind of like, so there's a ward skin with a
Buzz
flapping
off.
bee.
That's a kind of cool skin.
And I believe
They should
the
make the
last
bee a
one is
little
just
smaller,
is a
I think.
Yeah,
badge.
little
That's a
bee
cute
print.
little bee.
The other thing that's going to be included in this is you're going to unlock the Jingwei classic skin Bumblebee just for buying it.
Yeah.
Right? So when you buy the market or buy the Traveler market, you're going to get the Jingwei bee skin, Bumblebee skin instantly.
Yeah.
It is a classic skin. It will be available for Legacy Gem purchase after this Traveler goes away. So in 8 weeks, you'll be, if you don't buy into the market, you'll still be able to get Bumblebee, Jingwei.
Is
with
this
Legacy Gems,
Bumblebee
just
or
like
is this a
always.
recolor of the Bumblebee?
And then there is a new prism for her that's exclusive to this market, which is a Bumblebee. So if
well, that's a ladybug.
Sorry, I was
That's a
I was
ladybug.
reading the words instead of saying what I saw. Yes, which is a ladybug. So if you want,
It's not FOMO. These are skins you'll be able to buy
another
later.
Fun market that gives you a way to spend some of your coins if you got a lot that you're sitting on.
No.
And you can get
Guys, this is you can buy these right off the rip with. Yeah, the market is temporary. The skins aren't temporary. You buy this just to get access to these early, or you can wait, spend more down the line. It's literally just to buy them early if you want them. If you don't want to buy them early, you can buy them later for the normal price. This is just a way for you to buy these skins with also your market coins.
everything. It's priced about I believe, about or slightly less than if you were just buying the one new Yamoja skin directly.
Yeah.
And you get all the other stuff.
Very disappointed there's no free track. This is just like the temporary one.
We thought it felt like a pretty.
This is just if
decent
you
deal
have
at that
extra
price. And you got
market coins.
Yep, the period of time to do it.
Yeah, that's lots of cool stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring us back to Cam's because we've got some other skins that we wanted to talk about as well.
I'm
just gonna go
there
down
is
on
more
my
things to
list.
get upset at
Cerberus
Hyros
has
about
a cross-gen skin
than
that is joining
them
the
having
battleground
that
in
as
this
a buy
update.
style.
It is the Shadow Sentry skin. I will pull it up really
If you don't
quick.
want the skins,
And,
or if you'll
show
just
that
pay full
off.
price for them later, then that's fine.
Looks sick.
Wow.
I love the textures
Yeah,
on this one.
looks
and the
good.
purples.
Holy, that is cool.
And this is a cross-gen skin. So
Hate
if
this
you own it in
character.
Smite 1, you'll get it in Smite 2. Or
I
if you
agree,
don't, you'll be able
Ronan.
to
I
buy it
agree.
in Smite
They just need some badass skins.
There's also a button to listen to voice packs now. I think we added that last pack, but or last patch, but
How many people get mad
nice
about
little-
cosmetics purchasing?
Yeah, I believe
Well,
it
I
was
do
up
think
here at first,
FOMO
but then we did a
purchasing
little
is
bit more
lame.
additional art treatment and moved it. So it's right here next to the equip button.
I think
Let me bring
FOMO
us back to Cam.
purchasing
I
is
will
always a
definitely
lame
not spoil
tactic.
anything. What is next on my list? Miss Senshi Bellona. Sorry,
sorry,
go ahead,
I just saw
Phil.
something from chat. Is the new market 50% off with legacy gems? Yes. So if you have legacy gems,
doing a
it'll
180
be
on a promise? Wait, what do you
1200
mean?
diamonds, 1200 legacy gems.
Yeah.
So.
Good question.
Oh, also, it's only 1,200
and then we've
diamonds.
Got Miss Senshi Bellona.
If you have 1,200
actually had an issue
legacy
with it
gems,
showing up in game,
which
but
I
it was
do.
able to get fixed pretty quickly right before the show. I will call out that some of the textures are acting a little bit wonky on the prisms that we will go over in a second. But we've got another classic skin joining the battleground, Miss Senshi Bellona, kind of like the demon high school theme.
How to make my
Smite
build
1,
I made
it's
for
for
Ymir into an
Smite 2.
auto build?
Yep, and it's got a few prisms.
There's
We've got,
no auto
Neo
builds
Wave,
yet,
and
Lucid.
again, the textures on the sword.
They're hoping to get
Little
it
bit work in
next.
progress here, but those will be polished up.
Eh.
But I love the neon blue here. And then next up, we've got golden
Dog shit
grad.
Bellona skins.
Eh.
Yep.
That's cool.
That's good. I like that one.
Yeah, that one would be the one that I'd use.
Oh yeah, I love the white. And then
I'll use
last
Jade
but not
Dragon's
least, we've
Bellona.
got varsity.
I would probably use varsity. I
Nice.
just like bright things.
Yeah.
So.
I kind of like that one, but eh.
Yeah.
It's on like make the skirt shorter.
So classic skin means you can get the classic skin with
pervert.
100% legacy gems. And then
You're really
the
turning into a
prisms are
JJ.
diamond only. I don't think we've priced these yet. We're still figuring out what the right price
Just a
for,
pervert.
Compare me to that guy.
for prisms is.
Yep.
Don't compare me to that
What
guy.
is next on my
A bottom
list,
four
just because we
TFT
have a
perv.
lot to
That's a
go
lot
over.
less.
Okay. Now you're gonna get me fucking
I have
mad.
announcer packs, Kilgoody.
Yes.
You want to talk about announcer packs?
Sure.
Actually
so,
playing a lovely
I've been excited
Vanguard
to
are
announce.
bringing back announcer packs with our first wave
Yes.
of classic announcer packs. So this first
Better
wave,
not be a
there's
weekend
just going to be a
announcer
few.
pack.
There's only going to be 33 announcer packs added to the game. So I believe Lore Lady is one of them. Chat's asking already. These are going to be sold in the same way that the classic music packs were sold. So there's just going to be a big old
For the
chest.
Bobby pack? I'll ask
We don't
him.
really have any other way to list 33 things right now, just the way that our store is set up. So grab some announcer packs. They're priced for
Can you go
100%
through 'em
legacy
quick?
gems.
Yep.
I want to say they're priced the same as the music packs were. So if you were okay with that pricing, that's what they will be.
Yep, and I believe the announcer packs just a little bit more work to incorporate
Yes.
than music packs. That's why we're kind of going in waves. So if you've got a favorite announcer pack that isn't in this first wave, don't worry.
Yes.
We're going through announcer packs on a case-by-case basis to add them into Smite.
Yeah, I was talking with Blake, and I believe that he said that the current plan is that he thinks we'll do them in probably 3 waves. So I don't know if it's each wave is 33, and there's about 99 that we'll bring over. There's some that we can't bring over, right? So things that are tied to
crossover stuff,
crossovers, things that are done by former employees that weren't okay with us bringing it over or didn't want us to bring it over. Like I asked, I DM'd Bart, and I was like, hey, Bart, can we bring your pack over? And he's like, yeah, that's fine. But some people maybe were less okay with that. So, yeah, Bruce Buffer we can't bring over because that was a contract one. So sorry about that. So
No Bruce
but we'll be
Buffer,
bringing
who said
over
it,
kind of
D's.
as many as we can.
No Bruce Buffer,
and
D's.
we'll be getting them over kind of over time, but just not all at once. You'll only start with 33. Sorry, guys.
I just know Kepri was there, so
Yes.
I was pretend.
I assume.
Kepri's a great one, dude.
Oh,
That's
I
one of
love the
best ones.
Baron.
Curious,
One. It's my favorite.
Would Weekend want them to do it?
Baron one. Is it good?
It's really good.
Okay.
It's sick. Sweet. Next up
Oh.
on the list.
Oh, go for whatever's next.
No, go ahead,
No,
Kevin.
I was
Yeah.
I was going to ask about something, but you have a
Oh,
list.
no,
so
I
go
was
for it.
gonna. We were talking about audio stuff.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was gonna say we should
Yeah,
do
there
next.
we go. Let's talk about quips. So
Over
we've got
employees
another
is in
round
there?
of quips.
You're talking
Yeah.
about a specific guy.
So,
Invite to this update.
I'm just going to say generally, like, the community
Is DM
reaction to
Brandon's in
quips,
there?
Shut the
was
fuck up.
somewhat polarized. Some
No,
people really
that
liked
was
the
my
first
favorite
round.
one.
Some people were like, pay to fart, and we're a little bit less excited. I think there's a good argument that we probably should have started with our second round of quips instead of the one that we started
wanna
with,
hear
but
these
we
ones.
We were having fun with them internally, and so we started with that. The second round of quips is some of the best esports calls from the history of Smite. So you can react to things happening in game with like esports calls. And we thought it was
I'm just curious,
kind
like,
of fun.
what
So
are
we
the
have, I think
esport
how many are in
calls
the
you would
pack?
wanna
I think
use?
I think there's 8 in the pack. I don't know what they're priced at. I'm going to guess it's about the same. But if you want to play them, we have the audio files for
Yes,
all 8
I
of them
will
here.
play them really quick. I'll bring up the laptop.
I just don't know what calls you would
us for
make.
right now, but we'll go through the quips and play, and we can hear some of the calls that you can use with quips.
80% CD.
Unscathed, bow down to your kings.
That's a good one. Shout out to Dolson.
Let the crowd explode.
Got Hindu Man for one.
That's a short one.
Easy game, easy life.
Oh, that's
Classic.
a good one.
Easy game,
That's a
easy
good
life.
one.
I cannot believe what I'm witnessing.
I can just imagine like a good play and like somebody firing off these quips. That's a classic call from Bart there.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh no, I feel like people are gonna.
Let's get down for esports.
I've never heard that in my life.
Wait for this one.
Never ever in
low,
my
yeah.
life have I heard that one.
And
Never.
we did ask everybody before we used their lines just to make
It
sure they're
does.
okay with
It does pack. That's why I was curious if people are gonna be like, no way.
Paul's better. I don't care who you are.
Paul's better. Paul's better.
Say it 3 times for the 3-time vamos, vamos, vamos.
There we go. And I
Dude.
believe that is the last one.
Bro, imagine
Awesome.
you're
Yeah, got
Paul
some
and you're
cool
just
quips
playing
from
that
classic
fucking
esports
line.
moments in Smite history. You're making high-level plays in your
Paul's
game.
better.
You can fire
Paul's
off those
better.
clips and
Paul's
celebrate.
better as he's running you down.
Go out the second someone dies when they're trying to tower dive me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think they're really fun. We are very open to doing another round.
Yeah, they're being
of
added. I'm gonna be
esports,
running Paul's one.
caster
Paul's
quips, I
better.
think is what we're
Paul's
actually gonna call them.
better.
I don't know. So if there's something that
Clumsy's literally getting sold in lane,
we
running
missed
away.
in this
Paul's
first round,
better.
let us know, right? Like
Yeah,
we
Paul
just gotta
plays
pick
Smite
some of
too.
the ones that came to our mind immediately for this first round, but there's probably some things that are really great.
We need
See
some
people
funny ones.
asking
Like,
for
what the fuck is this
Dolphin
guy
Fire
doing?
Giant steal from Vegas. I don't know if we can do that. We may have to bleep a word or two in that, but
Wait, what did
That
he
would be
say
funny.
again?
Yep.
What did he say for the Fire Giant steal?
what
Was it
else is
shit?
on the list?
I've got a bunch of like, I don't know. There's a
like
bunch of
quality
game
of
stuff.
life.
Yeah,
game
you want to go
stuff.
through
Yeah,
some of
let's
that?
go through all that stuff.
Okay, so are you in game right now?
I can
be in game?
yes.
Oh shit!
This is a very small one, but it's one that I'm very pleased with.
We all have like our small little
Smite
things that,
card.
like, this really bothered me.
Yes.
Yes.
I really want this.
Yes.
Is practice okay?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. So, in every game that has been released in the last, I'm going to say decade, but I'm probably exaggerating slightly. Like, how do you ping in Smite?
Oh yes, this feature.
You have to
I have
either
no
push
fucking idea.
V
Yep.
and then click, or you have to hold Alt and then click on the map. Now you can just click middle mouse button, and it will ping where your targeter is. So this
am
is just
fucked.
the easiest dumb thing, but I think it's just a nice little feature that should make it easier for people to just, especially
I
when
use
they're
my
new,
consumables on the
know
scroll
how
wheel.
to ping.
Fuck!
And in the future, we can make this better. We can make it like context sensitive. There's a lot we can do, but this was just the quick, like middle mouse button is ping.
Yeah.
So not a console feature, sorry, but this is a. We actually have been
Console
thinking about maybe
players.
there's a way we can do this on console. There's one button that is somewhat underutilized. So basically, like the thought was that there's a button to cancel a cast,
Yes.
right? And if you don't have a targeter up, you could make that button do something that isn't like a core gameplay function. Like this, you could potentially put on that. You couldn't put like an item or something that you would want to use, but you could like maybe do that. So that's a potential maybe for console in the future.
Pinging
But
and
anyway,
jumping.
this is just a very minor thing that makes me happy. So I wanted to spend too long talking about that. We've got there's some Conquest pacing changes
Yes.
that we can.
Okay.
I can talk about the high level goals.
They're
of,
either
and we can talk about the
slowing
numbers of
down-
later, and
Yes.
you can walk me through a little bit more.
They're slowing down on XP or they're
we are
speeding up
changing
gold, or
the
both.
XP and gold pacing to try and align the pacing of the two systems together while addressing some feedback we received from
That's
the community.
good. This is really good.
So
this is really
players
good.
will level slightly slower,
Perfect.
but gain gold slightly faster.
Literally
So
perfect.
it may take you a
I was
couple more
asking for
minutes
this.
to hit level 20, but the time it takes you to hit full build will go down. So right now, it was like people
This
were
is
getting
so
to full
perfect.
build really early, and then they had to keep playing for a long time before they got to full build. And that overemphasized base stat like contributions and underemphasized items.
I'm a little worried
So,
about
go for it.
Yeah, so
this
really,
combined
it
with
just
the
feels
nerfs to
a little
tank
bit
items
weird
might
to
kill solo
have
laners.
items
That's my
that
only worry.
there's a feeling
Because now that they've double nuked, or sorry, they've triple nuked a lot of solo laners. I'm not worried about supports. Supports have thieves. Thieves will always make supports broken.
I need a
Yeah,
we need to
you
get close
gotta
chat.
hover over it. Yeah.
Sorry. So that disparity between them and like that just feels weird, and it feels like those should be more in sync with
Closer
each other.
pawn.
If you choose to farm a whole bunch of gold and forgo some experience, that can vary. But like you were seeing things where like it was like 2 items off worth of like being even close. So bringing those closer just kind of makes more sense.
Thieves is busted.
It
You're
also
building
means that
Thieves
the
in support every game.
contribution of your character's innate stats you get from per level, you get from ranking up your abilities as compared to the power that items are contributing. These are now more in sync with each other, where before, if one's favored over the other, like if you finish your item build way before you hit level 20, items have the most important thing. Your base stats are actually pretty, they're a lot less significant because you're just not going to get to the point where they contribute meaningfully. If you hit level 20, but you're only at 4 items, well, your base stats are the most important things. So characters with high base damage would be really good. Characters with higher base stats,
I think we might need a slight revert on some prod items.
Those characters would be arbitrarily stronger than they would be otherwise.
But I like that.
So
This is
kinda
good.
just
I'm
makes
not
the-
upset with this. This is good. I just would not be surprised if solo becomes a little bit more damagey of an item.
Yo,
Yo, Edgewing.
Thank you,
man. Can we get some
you
hype
are
in the
a
chat
high
for
base
boy
damage
Edgewing?
player, you're not gonna just be
My goat, my goat.
Way too
So
much, and then the
fucking
tables get
tasty,
absolutely
you know what I'm
flipped on
saying?
suddenly. You'll be able to leverage that power more in the early game, but then when the items come online, the carriers are able to respond in kind, and that's just it's gonna feel more natural versus a
This is good.
switch flip that happens, right?
Yeah.
So this should just make the game feel overall better paced.
Yeah, and this is there will also be a lot of god and item balance changes that we're just not going to cover today. That would be a lot to get through all that too, I think. But kind of wave 3 of that happens. So this isn't a change that happens in isolation. We're making other changes as well. So like on its head, this change probably benefits like carries more than tanks because tanks are more base stat focused. But there's going to be a lot of other changes to tanks in this patch. So
Yeah, and I know right now the pacing of games is pretty close to where we'd want it. I don't know exactly if we want to make it slightly longer or shorter.
Yeah, I don't like this one either,
right now.
Rock.
Because that's something that the Council of Math is a bit more in tune with, and I just need to go catch up with them and see where they're at. But I know we're really close. So the goal isn't here to like slow down anything to the point where games are taking 5 minutes longer. You should have a reasonably similarly paced game. It's just now your items and your levels.
Bon's mic even on? Yeah, he's just too far away.
Awesome. And then, oh, there was another question that was good. Oh, what happens if you have middle mouse button already bound? We aren't going to overwrite the binding, but you won't be able to use the middle mouse to ping because you're using it for something else. But you can assign that to a different button if you want to. There's just like a new button that you can set. Okay, can we go back in game for the next feature?
Wow, they're doing a ton
Okay,
of stuff.
so buy award.
Let's see here. Consumables. Oh,
Yeah, you're filtered. Does it not work?
It might not
Doesn't
work
work in
in
practice.
VR.
Okay,
It
can you
might
go
not.
into Conquest real quick?
Yeah, 1 second. I don't want to spoil anything. 1 second.
Yeah. Okay, so while we're doing that, I'm going to read to you about the ranked change that will be coming
There
in
we
the next
go,
update. So we will be doing, with OB9, we will be doing a ranked soft reset.
Yes!
And Season 0 Spring Split will be incoming. If you are Plat 2 and under, you will not be soft reset. If you are Master Plus, you will be affected the hardest. And
so
the
back.
highest rank that you achieved during OB9 will grant your first ranked border in OB10. So I guess the actual reset is coming in OB10. And then there will be small SR calculation adjustments, and
OB10,
larger
those OB9.
adjustments are planned and will either hit on patch day or shortly thereafter. So that is directly from what Max wrote to me. So I will leave it at that because that's what I know about.
All right, I am almost in game. I'm
Okay.
loading.
And we are going to be one other question to answer while we're going through this. This should be flash tested tomorrow, so you can let us know how everything feels. And then
We're not
we'll be going
CJK in
live
our
on
game
Monday,
anymore.
except for the Kali aspect, which will go live a week later.
Yes.
Cool.
So
Okay.
you said buy a ward.
Buy a ward, yeah. And look, Achilles has purchased a vision ward.
Oh, I thought it was going to be something a little bit more exciting.
Whenever anybody on your team buys anything that helps the team,
I'm never going to see
or that
King
the
Oceans
team
has
might wanna
purchased a
play
vision
off
ward.
of, it will notify your entire lobby.
The fuck's a vision ward?
So there's something that somebody wanted. If you go into your, but we actually
You're
kind
acting
of
like you're buying
expanded
that
the system
shit. The
a little bit, I
fuck?
would say. So if you go into items,
I'm
that you
picking
can
'em
buy, and sorry, you got chat open, and you buy like Executioner, for
I
example.
don't have enough gold. 1 second.
Rip.
What's the
add gold space and then a big number?
Oh, I don't think that worked.
Maybe you're not admin or GM.
Add gold.
And then it should be like
Space.
like 99999.
There
we go. Okay.
Cool.
There you go.
Okay. So if
and you said Xe.
yeah, buy an Executioner, right? So an Executioner is something that your team might want to play
Wow.
off because it applies piercing, right?
bad.
So knowing that somebody else on your team has something that applies piercing maybe is going to change your what you want to build in your build path, right? So that's something that we want to notify you about. You can also see the new ability upgrade icon there.
Oh, yeah.
Which we mentioned we were changing, but we didn't show. So hopefully that
here.
feels better. This will show, I believe, on console, even though console doesn't have full chat, right? In the same way that like VGS shows in that area on console. Most active items will show up here. And then the other thing, can you, probably you're strong enough to kill a jungle camp. Can you go kill one of the jungle camps that drops something?
Yes.
Like the ward camp or something? Yeah. Sorry. Once again,
you're
I'm spending
good.
too much time on a feature, but I think that this is a nice quality of life thing that will hopefully help people understand what's going on in the game a little bit better.
He's shredding that bad boy.
We will see the
Right.
next part of this feature. So when you pick up a Cyclops ward, it says Achilles has picked up the Cyclops
Oh,
ward.
nice, cool.
So whenever, like if you pick up the runic bomb or the obsidian dagger or any on-map thing that you can pick up, Eyes of the Jungle, it will also send a message saying this person on your team picked it up. So you won't get the message if somebody on the opposing team picks up the runic bomb or the obsidian dagger. But
It's just good for ranked.
One extra little thing that was not happening.
Yeah.
We
It's
think
not
that
every
this
buff,
will
it's just
help
wards
people
and
remember
stuff.
to ward more often because very frequently, like you're standing in your base and you see somebody else bought wards and you're like, oh shit, I should buy wards too, right? So we think it should help, hopefully. Cool. Another thing that has changed in Conquest that we won't be able to show off easily, so I'm just going to tell you about it. Wind sprites. Wind sprites are very controversial.
Yes.
And we think that the reason why they were so controversial is because you could just always use them.
Right.
So for wind sprites, you will not be able to use them if you are feared, grabbed, knocked back, levitating, mesmerized, rooted, stunned, taunted, or crippled.
Which I don't know if that's just meant to say hard CC. But
Oh, so they're just removing
Yeah.
demonic from the game.
Yes. There is...
Just removing
there is
demonic.
Basically, any CC
That's the
will
best
prevent
item
you
in the
from
game.
using
Yeah, that
the
item's
wind
OP.
sprites. So
fuck?
that's should be better. And
Technically, they nerfed demonic unless they bring the attack
okay,
speed up. Because demonic
also,
was 25%.
Aladdin's AO3 wall run leap targeting should be significantly improved.
Yes.
And I'm calling that out here because it is a big improvement, hopefully, and not just in our normal QOL stuff, which we'll run through, which it should no longer cancel and drop straight down if you confirm it in invalid terrain, unless you never aim in a valid spot.
yeah, that's like if you aim outside.
Oh, that's
you walk
nice.
On the outside of the map, you always aim outside the
To
map.
consolidate? Maybe it
in
just
that
opens
case,
up another
you
slot
literally don't
for,
have a valid
you know,
location
demonic
to
being a
try
different
to
item.
It's kind of like Apollo. If you do that in this might
There are a lot of changes coming on this patch, or like you haven't planned for the future, clumsy.
Run around the map. You get to the other side of the map and run out of mana. You actually fly all the way back.
Oh, wow.
That is a really nice change, though. That's a kind of an annoying thing.
We've made some other changes so
More
that
item
the aim
changes.
is more likely to match the player's desired location and
Demonic
uses
is
your
gone.
last valid aim location. So if it times out an invalid location, it'll pick your last valid location. So That should be good. What else do we have? We also have. Oh, I know we're on dev. Is there a way that we can show God screen or match lobby without spoiling things? I'm thinking maybe not.
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Yeah. Let's see. Is this a good screen? Am I spoiling anything here? I also don't have a whole lot of progress on my dev account, so it's not really the best. But maybe this screen cap right here to like show off, and I do have a little bit right here on Merlin we could talk about.
Okay.
Let's see here. There we go.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
So
Don't scroll.
okay, so you can see on the God screen now, there is on the bottom left your mastery progress surface
Ooh,
for
it's
every
interesting.
God. This little bar,
I think he said
this little radial bar
OB9
is going to
Voltrix.
fill, so you can see how much progress you're making and how close you are to your next mastery level.
Yeah.
This
That's pretty
also
cool.
is going to be in the pre-match lobby. So on the corner
Oh,
of every
yes!
God's portrait,
Yes, I can know how
there
close
is
I am.
this same icon will appear. So you'll be able to tell from the match lobby like how close you are to leveling up.
He's
and
just
it
a
kinda help
yapper. You know, Xander. He's
who
just a
you want to
yapper.
play and work towards that. So I
When those
think
You
double
understand,
works or weekends
Xander.
happen, and you're like, who do I need to play to get my next mastery level? It'll be really apparent, who's close to getting a new level.
Yep, and we have had the ability to sort by like mastery and closest to mastery and whatnot. But I think that the fact that we weren't surfacing this progress meant that players weren't like aware of what was happening as much. So I think it's a nice little quality of life.
No,
thing.
this is cool. This is cool.
We also have God Builder stuff. I don't know if we can maybe leave us to go into the God Builder.
Wednesday's Titan Talk is going to be the balance one.
Sweet. So a few improvements in this update. We're still working on it. Not everything that we have yet. But there is a search field now, so you can search for something. There's also a filter here, so you can filter for different types of modes and different searches, or different, anything that you want there. Not
bad.
There's been kind of an overall experience pass on gamepad, which should make it much easier to use. In particular, your focus will no longer reset to the top every time that you lock in an item, so you don't have to like keep scrolling down to an area, which should be nice. Also, we're going to change the way that you level up abilities on that screen, where you just need to click on the icon for that ability rather than clicking in the little squares and trying to actually get the number in the right thing. It just should be a lot easier. The stats panel is also going to default to level 20 instead of level 1. In this build, it's still defaulting to level 1. We got that feedback. And there's just a lot of other kind of more smaller improvements that are coming in this. The other big piece is that this system now ties into auto build and auto skill.
Yeah, that's a big one.
So if you, from the God Builder tab in this, if you pin a build, it will appear, this one already will because it's a default one, but it'll appear as one of your choices for auto build at the beginning of a match, and auto build and auto skill will then follow the build guide that you have pinned. So that should be a big improvement for people that just want to pick a good build and follow it exactly. So
Not bad.
Should be good. I don't think I have anything else to say about that.
No, yeah, lots of cool quality of life improvements for the God Builder. I know it released in OB8, and it's getting even better in OB9.
Yep, and we'll continue to get better in OB10. One thing that still has not made it in that we want is the copy 2, so you can make a copy of a build. That is going to be OB10 at this point, but we're still getting in as many good updates as we can to OB9. The last thing I have on my list is that we will be doing an in-game event for Mother's Day. Don't need to tease the whole event right now, but there is going to be an event that's live for that that you can get a jump stamp that I believe looks like kind of the traditional like mom heart tattoo.
Yeah.
And by popular demand,
Yes.
we are also going to have like a quest over. I believe it's just going to be a quest over Mother's Day to get the Tiamat Mother's Day badge available as a first win of the day type quest for that period. So we hear you, chat. You want your Tiamat Mother's Day badge, and we were able to get it in. So. So I think that's everything I had on my list. Beyond, obviously, the huge number of balance changes that we aren't getting into today.
Yeah, I know Pon and crew are still working on balance stuff. We'll probably talk about that on our Wednesday show or maybe our Friday show once we get patch notes for OB9 all the way locked in and ready to go.
Yep, and we did, I believe, ship a hotfix this morning.
We did, yes. With we kind of talked about it. Let me see if I can pull up those notes really quick.
Yeah, and I think there was maybe some issue with the Kali one that we're looking to address to make sure that I don't know if that actually got in properly. So that one will eventually be in. But we can quickly go over those.
Yeah, 1 second, Chad. I will pull up.
Tiamat confirmed to be H-God.
Agni's Aspect did go live this morning. But in terms of balance, Lernian Bow, the projectiles fired from this can no longer go through walls.
Yep, just let people actually block it with terrain. Makes it so you can't get like sniped over like without being able to like see the user of it. Just
no, this is good. This is really good.
And then our last item for the hotfix Sundering Arc, we're going to be decreasing the damage dealt to gods from 25 plus 4 per level to 20 plus 3 per level.
Yeah, we initially upped the damage on this and lowered the cooldown on the PvE usage of it because we felt like if we're going to encourage it for PvE, we want to give some love to the PvP side of it as well. That just made it very, 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 very good. We feel like now we don't really need that. So I think this is actually back to its pre-buff numbers, but it still retains that other adjustment we did where if you use it on Jungle Camp, you get the lower cooldown.
Cleveland's got the deepest QB room in the league.
A shift to aspect of the Trident. Not a shift, it's a nerf.
We originally were going to shift this.
It's a nerf, yeah, straight up nerf. Going to be decreasing the focused side waves damage on that for the aspect.
Yep, just an overall nerf. We found out some other things about it. We're like, actually, we don't feel like this needs to be shifted. We can just...
Yeah, I actually don't think the Browns draft wasn't that bad.
A few things here. Pon, talk to us about what's going on with Bari.
This one is a shift.
Yes.
And a lot of the other patches, we kind of brought down damage, but we hit and builds a bit harder than previously, but especially with all the big recent numbers.
Yeah, no, this has been a good Titan talk.
The items, her strength and her crit build is definitely doing really well. Bari as a whole is actually not doing super great, but when you take her strength version of it, that's actually doing really well. The inside of it isn't doing so well. So we're taking some power away from that crit and strength focused build, and we're trying to bring up the intelligence side of her to make that those builds a bit
This is crazy. Yeah. 55% in scaling.
The one I think we're working on getting these implemented into game, but Kali will be seeing some nerfs here. Lash going to be decreasing the scaling and the bleed scaling, and then Incense we're going to be decreasing the heal, and this is for base Kali.
Yeah, Int Kali, definitely a new way of playing her.
Surprised they didn't nerf the 3.
We want to make sure it was really good because it was a new way to build her, and we want to make sure that felt very distinct. But the numbers we chose.
No, you think drafting 2 QBs is a good thing?
Just a poke ability.
Don't think about it as 2 QBs. Think about it as Tyler Shao is not a Brown.
Which is just very, very, very high.
What's his name?
Tyler? Instance gave her too much sustain overall, so she could burst her health a bit too effectively with that.
Yeah, but that's healing. This is just healing. They didn't nerf the damage.
Incense should still be the thing that really hurts. Getting a 5 stack on someone and consuming it should be.
Who's the other Browns QB?
She was getting with Lash compounded.
Jackson. Wait, no, it wasn't Dart. Who was?
From the Lash instead of the whole core loop, which is to get those incense stacks built.
Dylan Gabriel, that's who it was. Yeah. Just imagine they didn't draft Dylan Gabriel.
Pending the Kali stuff, which should hopefully be live within the next couple hours. I know Kabir was working on getting that applied to the server for the hotfix, but outside of that, man, we talked about a lot of stuff today, guys.
Yeah.
Kilgun, give us the recap. I know you like giving us the recap.
I'll give you the recap.
In 2 weeks. What's going on?
In 2 weeks. in 2 weeks tomorrow. Last time we did one of these patches. We have introduced Guan Yu. We have aspects for Guan Yu and a huge aspect for Kali that turns her into a hunter. We have the first Traveler market with the Bee Emoja, the Beijing Way, her Ladybug Prism, and a bunch of other stuff. We have the Esports quips. We have 33 classic announcer packs. You can now use your middle mouse button to ping. We made improvements to God Builder, adding search, improving the UX, changing the way that you set ability orders, and integrating it with auto build and auto skill. We have updated the pre-match lobby in the God tab to show God Mastery. We've made changes to Conquest pacing in addition to a huge number of God and item balance things, which we didn't go over today. Players can now not use win sprites if they are CC'd. Aladdin's wall run should be much better. You now get notifications in chat when items are purchased by your teammates. There will be a ranked soft reset and Season 0 spring split. There's going to be a Mother's Day event with a jump stamp and the Tiamat Mother's Day badge. There is the classic Senshi Bellona skin with prisms, and there is the Cerberus Shadow Century cross-gen skin. So... 2 weeks, guys. 2 weeks.
That's a lot of stuff.
We continue. We understand there's a lot that we still need to get done. I think the game just keeps getting better every 2 weeks, and really that's our intent, right? We could be like one of those studios that ships a patch every 6 weeks or every 8 weeks, and it's there's these huge, big, sweeping changes. And we feel like we can ship a lot of very important changes. If you need me to help you
finish that bottle, Clumsy,
and make the game better every 2 weeks so that you can consistently feel it getting better and better and better and better. Yeah. So that's our strategy. We're going to keep moving forward.
Would you be able to explain who the H God is, Clumsy?
It's going, right? Yeah. I think the game's getting better.
You want to spoil?
There's obviously more stuff in future patches, right? But that's what's made it into this one. And I'm excited about all of it, particularly middle mouse to ping. That is the thing I'm most excited about.
Sweet. Well, we got about 5 minutes left, so you just want to do
is it
one more question?
Just one question.
And for people that joined late while we're waiting for questions to come in, this is our first show in the new room.
Yeah, I keep forgetting I need to actually
quick.
Talk. You guys want to hear me, and I slowly.
Alani.
Yeah. You guys can't hear me. There's a lot we got to fix clearly from this first show. The balls are boring.
I would move it closer, but this is actually
that's the furthest it'll go. Yeah.
Yeah, and we also we moved to a new building across the street that's bigger and kind of better for the dev team, and we just didn't want to keep having to walk across the street to the old building, which I think we still have leased for another few years because of the contract. But we were like, no, it's better to not have to go across the street to use the room, and we should set up over here since we're going to be over here now. So it's not perfect yet, but it's kind of in the same way as our development process.
If you have any feedback, tweet it at us, and we'll work to incorporate it for sure.
They ignored my Alani check.
Hindu says it'll be fixed for next show. He promises. The other thing, Hindu, this TV has overscan on, so I can't see the corners when we're in game. So something for us to fix. Anyway,
I've never heard
Alani
of a thing
check.
called
I did not get Alani check. I had
oh
too much caffeine this morning.
Am I the only one? I'm Cherry Twist today.
I just have a lime.
I'm the only one on the Alani
LaCroix.
Banger.
I don't know how to say this, but
banger, Isaiah.
I had too much caffeine this morning, so I had to chill that a little bit.
Cool. Let's see. Let me pick a question. Yeah, banger for sure. Inbound. Cherry Twist is so good. Let's see.
They better be subletting that.
I will answer a not
I'm subletting
question. Is it claustrophobic in there? No, this room is actually much bigger than the other room, and it's a better
other
room.
Was
it's
small.
just we just don't have it fully set up
My
yet. So
stream room
it
was
looks
bigger than that other
because
room.
of the way that the camera angles are and whatnot.
Let's see here. This is not a fun one, but it's a good question. Will most gods have at least one skin soon in Smite 2? Many have multiples, but a lot are lacking.
So I would say yes-ish.
Just treat them.
We have a list of all of the gods that do not currently have skins.
My opinion is just treat them like aspects. If you have a good idea, fucking slam that shit.
Very quickly during the kind of sprint to 50 that we had heading into our open beta. And some of those just got missed. So like Vulcan doesn't have a skin. I don't think Artemis has a skin.
I think she has the Fletch spawn.
That's right. That's right.
Like Uller doesn't have one.
Yeah. So we have a list of everybody, and I believe everybody is on the calendar, but it may take a little while before we actually get to everybody. But we are aware that some people don't have skins yet, and it'd be good. Achilles doesn't have a skin, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think like we have the list. Everybody is scheduled. It's just going to be a little while before we get through the list. So.
All right, I think that's it.
Can we get Guan Unicorn as the first classic for Guan? He would look
banger.
so cool with prisms. I think he might be the first classic.
Oh, nice.
That's a little teaser. I'm pretty sure that he is. So.
A little spoiler.
I asked the question. I was waiting to see if anyone would ask it. Will Guan get the bongos back?
That's a good one.
For a long time, we actually thought the sound file was lost. And so we could rip it from a video, but like,
what's a bongo?
We didn't have the raw sound file. We're going to do anything. We did find it.
Nice.
What does that mean?
One original idea for his aspect was to make the 3 a lot more different. And
what does bongo mean?
Instead, and that was going to be a way to signify that it was different. that aspect we ended up not liking. We went with this one instead, which means it wasn't a great place to place the bongos. But we do now have the sound file,
Nice.
which was one of the main.
So it's
factors for
possible.
it. So we could bring it back in some way, shape, or form. Maybe like a skin. Maybe there's other ways to do it. But
No, I know what a bongo
sound,
is,
we
but like,
ended
what
up
does a
not having
bongo
great
mean
place
in
for it. We
relation
felt like
to Guan
keeping it
Yu?
to the Guan Yu that most people who have ever played Smite have played before was just at least the better call for this version. And we're going to bring back bongos if there was another place for it, but there wasn't one.
Sweet.
In his
All
old
right,
design.
well, I think that's going to wrap it for our show today. Kilgoon Pond, thanks so much for joining me on the
You made
show.
bongo
Lots of
sounds.
cool stuff in Open Beta 9 that players can look forward to. First flash test should be tomorrow.
All right, there it is. Overall, I'm happy with that Titan Talk. I'm excited for patch notes on Wednesday. But yeah, it's exciting nonetheless. Very exciting nonetheless. Yo, you guys want to play some Joust?
Introduction. Tell them about your dream, JJ.